But here's a map. Apologies if you can't see it tremendously well. This is available very easily with a Google search. But you can see in the red out the outline of the German Confederation, one form of empire. We also have the Empire of Austria in yellow. We have the Empire of Russia as well in green. Russia's sort of involved, at least in the counter-revolution, so the resurgence of the conservative power at the end. Britain also is in an imperial system, as are the kingdoms of France and Spain, and the Ottoman Empire to the bottom right of this image. The issue with empires is that it's very difficult to come about democratic systems. Individual democracies within these nations are hard to come by because of the geopolitical interests of the main power presiding over the empire. So a key objective of a lot of the revolutions is to establish individual national democracies. So a lot of all these states you can see in the German Empire cutting off and establishing their own national democratic regime. And so we have all of these city states. We have them throughout France. All of these red dots here are the main urban context for revolution. So in all of these red dots, each red dot symbolizes a city whereby there was an important revolution in 1848. And you can see this truly spread throughout Europe. However, most of the revolutions didn't last very long. And there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, we can talk about not necessarily the weakness of the revolution, but rather the power of the counter-revolution. The counter-revolution being the traditional imperial conservative powers rising up against the liberal thinkers of the rebels. So these individual states, because they're in these individual national urban contexts, they fail to wield the proper international stability, geopolitically speaking. So they're operating on their own terms. They don't really have any allies. This left them vulnerable to these imperial powers, who had the benefit of uniting and the benefit of greater resources to coordinate. Fortunately for the empires, they had shared interests, the interest being a maintenance of the status quo, what was going on beforehand. Hungary, for instance, a really important site of revolution in the southeast of the Empire of Austria, as you can see on this map, wielded over 100,000 troops. They had the Habsburg Empire, which is the Austrian Empire, really on their back foot. And they were very close to succeeding in breaking off and establishing their own democratic national government. However, the imperial united armies of the Austrian Empire with the Russian Empire, given their shared interests, meant that their armies wielded over double this. So let's start to think about coming back to the question, why is this important? Well, what this demonstrates, 1848, is that despite the power of democracy and a belief in democracy, the existence of free elections, many of these states were able to wield. So 1848 saw, democratic national regimes in power, but only for a few months. They were temporary in their existence because it proved that the existence of democracy was not enough. Stable, strong regimes and institutions were essential towards their maintenance, which none of these powers were able to implement. So winning a free and fair election, no, this did not automatically confer a mandate for governing. A mandate for governance required stability, but also required geopolitical cooperation. It wasn't enough to simply exist on a state's own terms.